Alright everyone, say hello. Jump into this real quick. We're going to be working on a Garcia Mitchell 300 reel. This is one of the old ones that's made in France. I was given this reel by my father-in-law, oh God, 20 years ago, something, 15 maybe. It's been a while. It turns, but we know the spool never stayed on. The sleeve on the reel shaft is missing the gears that align to the line spool. Found a gentleman on YouTube and give a shout out on his channel. It's Second Chance Tackle. I'll put a link up. Guy does amazing work, has all the parts that anyone will ever need to fix a good reel. So we're going to replace this. The bell works, but it doesn't trip. That's probably a spring issue. It's not that complicated, but we're going to take it apart. We're going to see if we can fix this. So I've been kind of into this reel. That's why I know this piece is broken and this piece is the replacement. So now let's get into this and see if we can make a repair. This is where all the really cool music would play if I could play music, but YouTube doesn't allow music because everyone wants money. A little bit more. There we go. We'll set that off. And we'll have a cup of coffee during all this. Everything's at least coated in grease inside, so we know that at least works. Take out the drive gears. See if we can get this plate out of here. Take that plate out. Now, bad shaft comes out. Grease. We'll just coat that shaft. And reinsert. And I've got to say, I am not a reelologist or a reel expert, but it's looking like this plate has got to be backwards because that has to trip the spring on the inside to trip this bell. So let's take that back out. See if we can break that nut loose. For as old as this reel is, it definitely appears to be clean. I think someone's been into this before. That came out that way, we'll leave it that way. I hope I'm keeping all this in frame and in the picture and all that. Because that spring works. So I'm thinking this has got to be upside down, and that may be part of that problem. So let's take these washers, put them back on, Looks like got a little piece of dog hair in there. I have big lab retriever, so I have little white dog hairs on everything I own. Those washers slipped out, so let's go ahead and smooth those again. Slide those out. Reel back on. There we go. And I'm thinking that has to go down, because that has to catch. That spring inside. So let's put this back together. I hope this isn't the most boring video anyone's ever watched. I'm not the best commentator. I'm not the most knowledgeable. And I don't have groovy music to play for everyone. So we are going to use a little evidence trace that's in here. Now, the fun part about this is trying to put this one gear back in. I really don't know what it's called. It's like an orbital gear. It has cogs on one side that are offset, so it'll make a 360-degree revolution. That plate in. That still turns freely, so we know that gear's good. Take out the dog hair, and this, what I was talking about, a little orbital gear. It only got 3 little cogs on one side, and normally if you put them straight down, you can make this turn and not lock up. You're not going to believe it, but I got it on the first try. I've had to do a few of these. It's probably what I ought to do is just, I've gone through about 30 different reels, cleaned them, made a few repairs, small repairs. I'm not an expert on this by any means. But if you can keep in mind every action has a reaction, you can pretty much figure how a lot of the stuff works. There we go, that's back on. So let's come on, hands work. I'm not paying attention. I don't know if this is actually in within the camera or not. Hope it is. Hope it's in well enough you can understand what I'm doing. It's the first one I've ever videoed. If this screws up, it may be the last. So there that is. And that turns. And the clicker works. So we're good there, and we're good there. So let's run that on down. And it looks like the spool latches and clicks in good, so it's not pulling out. It's kind of neat. You just push the end button and line spool comes off. So now, let's see what we have for a bell issue. Bell hangs up. I think you actually look right here, that spring is poking through where that catch is actually supposed to seat. So this is probably just misaligned or out of time. Is going to be my biggest guess. Or my best guess. I can come up with some wild accusations and guesses. Just drop that. Yep. Well, the spring still has action in it, so the spring isn't broken. Let's slide that out of the way. So let's try to line that little bitty hole up with that little bitty wire. Which may be near impossible for me, because I don't have, oh, no, there we go. There's the whole springs. Slide that back down. Okay. See if we can open that up into a neutral position, see if that helps us out any at all. It really doesn't, not for me. I'm gonna get out of frame for a second, I'm sure, because I'm gonna try to find that little hole. Huh? Did I make it? Hey, I think I made it. Looky there. Put that screw back in. A lot of these reels that I've taken apart, whether it be bait casters or spinning reels or spin casters, there's not a ton of things wrong with them. Most of them's just out of touch, out of time, and just need to be put back together right. Or if you find one at a garage sale, flea market, Goodwill, whatever, a lot of them are thrown away because someone took them apart and put them back together wrong. Huh, the spring works. There we go. That's what that was needing. So now let's see. Bait clicker works. We got a forward. We have a reverse. So let's drop that spool back inside. Huh, that plate was upside down. That's all it took. Taking it apart, figuring out what's misaligned, what's put in upside down, backwards, or whichever way. There we go. Replace the shaft, the spool shaft within the reel. We'll just make sure everything's tightened down. And there we go. From a reel that didn't work to one that's fully functional. Well, let's have a cup of coffee. Oh, that just tastes good. Come back and join me. Maybe we'll find something else today.